Listen, every morning when your eyes open, life gives you two choices. You can either hit snooze, stay in bed, and waste the greatest gift you've been given, time. Or you can rise, take command of your day, and step forward with the mindset of a winner. Every sunrise is proof that you've been given another chance to fight, to grow, and to dominate. Yet most people stumble through their mornings like it doesn't matter. That's the difference between those who stay average and those who conquer. Your mornings set the tone for everything that follows. Success isn't built at midnight parties or lazy afternoons. Success is built in the quiet hours of the morning, when no one's watching, when it's just you versus you. The discipline you create before the world even wakes up will define whether you'll lead or follow, whether you'll win or settle. So if you truly want to live with power, confidence, and unshakable focus, your mornings must become sacred. Today, I'll share with you 10 things you should do every single morning. These aren't suggestions. They're weapons. Use them, and your life will never be the same. When you wake up early, you've already taken the first step towards separating yourself from the majority. Most people love their beds more than they love their dreams, and that's why they'll never touch greatness. Waking up before the sun isn't just about the clock. It's about discipline. It's about telling yourself, I control my body, I control my mind, I control my life. The world is quiet in the early hours, and that silence is your advantage. No distractions, no noise. No one pulling at your time, just you and your mission. If you can't win the battle of the bed, you will struggle to win any other battle life throws at you. The bed is warm, comfortable, seductive, but comfort is the enemy of growth. Every time you get up before your body wants to, you sharpen your mind. You build a version of yourself that refuses to bow to weakness. Think about it. While others are still asleep, you've already started moving. You've already started creating. You've already added hours of productivity that your competition will never catch up on. Waking early is like cheating life. You get more hours than everyone else, not because the day is longer for you, but because you had the courage to take them. Success doesn't reward the lazy, it rewards the relentless. The earlier you rise, the sooner you start stacking wins. Small wins compound, and those extra hours in the morning create a gap between you and everyone else. A gap so wide they can't close it no matter how hard they try later in the day. Waking up early also sets a psychological tone. When you rise before the world, you subconsciously train yourself to lead, not follow. You're not waiting for the world to tell you when to move, you're already moving. Leaders create the rhythm and followers just react to it. When you own your mornings, you own your life. That first choice, to rise instead of hide, bleeds into every other decision you'll make that day. It becomes a domino effect. If you start with strength, you'll continue with strength. If you start with weakness, you'll continue with weakness. There's also a spiritual energy in waking early. Watching the sun rise, feeling the stillness before the chaos, reminds you that you're alive for a reason. Every morning is a new battlefield, and the earlier you step onto it, the better your chances of victory. Champions are not built at 9 a.m. when the world finally wakes up. Champions are built at 5 a.m. in silence when it's just them, their thoughts, and their grind. Those hours aren't just time, they're sacred. They're proof that you're willing to do what others refuse to. Don't misunderstand waking early is hard. That's the point. Anything worth having will demand pain, sacrifice, and discipline. But that pain you feel when you drag yourself out of bed is the same pain that carves strength into your character. Discipline is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And the very first rep of discipline you perform every day is choosing to wake up. If you can master that, you set the foundation for mastering everything else. When you wake up early, you're not just gaining time. You're declaring war on mediocrity. You're telling the universe that you're serious. You're proving to yourself that you're in control. And once you start stacking those early mornings, you'll notice something. your confidence grows. You walk differently, think differently, and live differently because you know you're not like everyone else. You're operating on a higher level. Move your body. The second you get up, you must put your body into action. Too many people stumble through the morning half-asleep, dragging their feet, scrolling through their phone, sipping coffee to fake energy. That is weakness. Your body is an engine, and if you don't start it strong, it will never run at its full power. Movement is not about exercise alone. It's about commanding yourself to act before comfort gets a chance to enslave you. When you push your body the moment you wake, you're sending a message to your mind. We move forward, we don't wait, we don't hesitate. Training in the morning builds discipline that spills into every corner of your life. It's not about six-pack abs or how much weight you can lift. It's about proving to yourself that you can do what most people won't. The world is full of excuses. I'll start later. I'll do it tomorrow. I'm too tired. That mindset kills dreams. When you move your body early, you kill those excuses before they even have oxygen. Sweat is not weakness leaving your body. It is laziness being destroyed. The burn in your muscles is proof that you're alive. Proof that you're demanding more of yourself than most will ever dare. When you train in the morning, you're not just building strength, you're building focus. You sharpen your mind by forcing it to cooperate with your body. Every push-up, every sprint, every rep is a small battle you choose to win, and those battles prepare you for bigger wars throughout the day. If you can force yourself to push through pain when no one is watching, then nothing life throws at you will break you. Movement in the morning is training for life itself. Think about the energy it unlocks. Blood pumping through your veins, lungs expanding, heart pounding. You wake up in a way no cup of coffee could ever achieve. Your body comes alive and your mind follows. The lazy are still lying down, scrolling, yawning. You, on the other hand, are already charged, already active, already ahead. That difference compounds. By noon, the ones who slept in are finally waking up. But you've already conquered hours of progress. You carry momentum they'll never catch, and understand this. Movement builds identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who drags, someone who avoids, someone who waits. You begin to see yourself as a warrior, someone who moves regardless of how they feel. Feelings don't control you, actions do. The body is a weapon, and every morning you either sharpen it or let it rust. If you sharpen it daily, you start walking into life with power. People can feel it. They can see the strength in your posture, the energy in your eyes, the confidence in your stride. That's not an accident. That's the result of putting your body to work every single morning without negotiation. Don't underestimate the psychological shift. When you wake and move, you're not waiting for motivation. You're creating it. You're proving to yourself that you don't need to feel ready to start. Action comes first, motivation follows. This is where most fail. They wait to feel inspired before they act. Winners act first, and inspiration chases them. Cold exposure or shock is one of the most powerful ways to dominate your morning because it tears you away from comfort instantly. The human body loves warmth, softness, and safety. That's why most people live lives trapped in mediocrity. They refuse to embrace discomfort. When you step into cold water, when you let that icy wave hit your skin, you're declaring war against weakness. It shocks your system, yes, but it also wakes your spirit. That moment of resistance, that voice screaming at you to stop, is exactly why you must do it. Discipline lives on the other side of that pain. Cold exposure is not about the water. It's about teaching yourself that your feelings don't control you. Your emotions will scream, "Don't do this, it's too much." Your body will shiver, your mind will try to bargain, but when you step forward anyway, you prove that you are the one in control. If you can endure the cold, you can endure anything. This is a ritual of strength, a reminder that growth never happens in the comfort zone. You step into that cold because you refuse to be average. You refuse to let weakness dictate your life. Every second you remain in the cold, you are sharpening your mind like steel. You're building resilience that carries into every challenge of the day. When problems come, they will feel lighter because you already faced the hardest thing first thing in the morning. You've already conquered fear, discomfort, and resistance before breakfast. How can a small setback bother you after that? You're unshakable because you've trained yourself to face pain willingly. Most people avoid discomfort, and that's why they break so easily when life applies pressure. You, on the other hand, seek it, embrace it, and grow from it. The physiological benefits are undeniable. Cold exposure floods your body with energy, your blood rushes, your senses heighten, and you become alert in a way no caffeine can replicate. It ignites you, it forces you into the present moment. There is no room for laziness when ice water hits your skin. It shocks every cell awake, your breathing sharpens, your body screams for survival, and in that intensity, you become alive in the purest form. This is what most people miss. They never feel truly alive, because they never put themselves in situations that demand it. Think about the psychological advantage it gives you. The world is full of people who surrender to their feelings. They say, "I don't feel like it," and so they don't. But when you've trained yourself every morning to willingly walk into something uncomfortable, you rewire your brain. You stop listening to weakness. You stop negotiating with laziness. You learn that feelings don't matter, only actions do. That mindset creates warriors. That mindset creates leaders. The cold also humbles you. It reminds you that no matter how strong you think you are, there's always a challenge bigger than you. Yet instead of hiding from it, you face it head on. That humility keeps you sharp. It keeps you hungry. Weak men chase comfort. Strong men chase resistance. Every cold shower, every ice plunge, every shiver builds armor that no one can see but everyone can feel. Plan your day, because if you wake up without a strategy, you've already surrendered before the battle even begins. Life is a war, and every single day is a battlefield. The men and women who walk into that battlefield without a plan are the ones who get crushed, distracted, and scattered. They're the ones who get pulled in 1,000 directions, reacting to everything, but building nothing. A king never moves without strategy. A general never sends his army into chaos without a map. Yet most people send themselves into their day blind, and then they wonder why they fail, why they feel lost, why their progress is slow. Planning your day is not just writing down tasks. It's deciding what must be conquered. It's you declaring to yourself and the world, "These are my priorities, these are my battles, and these are the victories I'll claim today." When you sit down for even 5 minutes in the morning to map out your moves, you're giving yourself structure, direction, and control. Without a plan, time will slip through your fingers like sand, and by nightfall, you'll realize you spent all your energy on things that didn't matter. With a plan, you seize the hours. You bend them to your will, and you use them as tools to build the life you want. Planning also eliminates weakness disguised as busyness. Many people confuse being busy with being productive. They run around doing small tasks, checking boxes, replying to every notification, and they think they're working hard. But at the end of the day, they're no closer to their goals. That's because they didn't plan. Without clear priorities, you will waste your strength on trivial things. With a plan, you cut out the noise. You focus only on what moves you forward. You attack the most important battles first, not the easiest. That one decision, prioritizing power over convenience, separates the achievers from the dreamers. A plan doesn't just guide your actions, it sharpens your mind. It gives you clarity. It removes uncertainty. Instead of wondering what to do next, you already know. That certainty frees mental energy for execution. When your brain isn't cluttered with indecision, it becomes ruthless in pursuing the target. Planning gives you momentum, and momentum is everything. Once you start stacking completed tasks, once you start seeing victories add up, your confidence grows. And confidence is fuel. Every win, no matter how small, becomes proof that you are in control of your destiny. There's also power in writing your plan down. Thoughts are weak until you trap them on paper. The moment you write your plan, you give it weight. It becomes real. It's no longer floating in your head where it can be forgotten or ignored. It becomes a contract with yourself. And every time you look at it throughout the day, it reminds you of your mission. It keeps you aligned when distractions try to pull you away. The plan is your compass. Lose it and you drift, keep it and you advance. Planning your day also builds discipline over time. At first, it may feel unnecessary, even tedious. But with repetition, it becomes a ritual of power. It becomes part of who you are, someone who doesn't just live randomly, but someone who builds with intention. Winners don't stumble into success. They plan it piece by piece, day by day, hour by hour. They know that the hours they waste are hours they can never get back, and they refuse to give them away. Read or listen every morning because the mind is the sharpest weapon you own. And like any weapon, if you don't sharpen it, it dulls. Most people wake up and feed their mind with junk, scrolling through meaningless posts, drowning in negativity, absorbing distraction disguised as entertainment. Then they wonder why they can't focus, why they feel lost, why their thoughts betray them. Your brain is like a battlefield, and if you allow trash to enter, don't be surprised when you lose the war. Feeding your mind with power, knowledge, and wisdom every morning is not optional if you want to rise above the crowd. When you choose to read a few pages from a great book or listen to something that strengthens you, you are programming your brain for victory. You're filling it with strategies, ideas, and perspectives that fuel growth. Knowledge is leverage. It gives you an edge over the man who thinks he already knows enough. The truth is most people stop learning the moment they leave school, and from that day forward, they slowly die inside. Their bodies age, but their minds decay even faster. If you dedicate time every morning to feeding your mind, you refuse to let that happen. You stay sharp, alert, dangerous. This habit also changes the way you see the world. Every sentence you read, every idea you hear, shapes your perception. It gives you new tools for solving problems, new ways to adapt, new levels of awareness. Life constantly throws challenges, and those who win are not always the strongest physically. They are the sharpest mentally. Reading and listening in the morning builds that sharpness before the world even tests you. It's mental armor. You walk into the day prepared because your brain has already been exercised, already been armed with new ammunition. It's not about speed, it's about consistency. 10 minutes every morning may not feel like much, but over weeks, months, and years, the compound effect is unstoppable. A man who reads daily, even in small doses, will build a mind years ahead of his competition. A man who listens daily to voices of wisdom will carry insights that others will never even imagine. That gap is what creates leaders, innovators, warriors. One book can shift your entire mindset. One idea can change your life's direction. But you'll never find that book, never hear that idea, if you don't discipline yourself to feed your mind every single morning. The act itself also sets a tone of growth. By reading or listening first thing in the morning, you're telling yourself that you value progress over distraction, depth over noise, substance over emptiness. It rewires your identity. You stop seeing yourself as a consumer of junk and start seeing yourself as a builder of wisdom. The more you feed your mind, the hungrier you become for more because growth is addictive. The brain craves expansion once you show it the path. There's also an energy in starting your day with wisdom instead of chaos. The words you read or hear first thing in the morning echo through your entire day. They influence the way you speak, the way you think, the way you act. They plant seeds in your subconscious that later bloom into decisions and behaviors. If you start your morning listening to greatness, reading greatness, you will carry greatness with you into every interaction. But if you start your morning with gossip, negativity, and distraction, you poison your foundation before the day has even begun.